Yo, what's going on? What's going on, people? Raps on TV's
What's
coach
happening?
back again. Sam, I would have said you're there. I don't know what you're doing with your laptop. Is it upside down? Is it 90 degree
Yeah,
angle?
man.
Where
I
we
got a
good?
little webcam. I got a little webcam. That's
Ah,
why.
snap. But it looks like it's frozen there, brother. But hope
Can you see me
everybody.
now?
No.
One
Um,
second.
but yeah, I'll let you get on with that. Yes, but I hope everybody is good. Back again. Pretty quiet weekend in boxing, to be fair. We did see I know there was an MTK card, but obviously I think the bigger name fights that took place was Chris Colbert taking on Nyamba. So we'll get into that a little bit, probably a little bit of his comments as well. And then also we saw, don't want to do no product placement. We are also seeing the return of Lyndon Arthur, who headlines, Anthony Yarde as well. They'll be fighting this weekend on the Frank Warren show. So looking forward to seeing these guys back in action. But yeah, pretty quiet weekend. So we're going to just chop it up and then see what we can discuss. Yes, Sam, you're back
We're back, man.
normal.
Yeah, we're back. We're back, man. Just chilling, bro. This week's been quite quiet. This week's last week's show was quite quiet. Not really much going on in the scene. I think, to be honest, when there's not that much going on, it's kind of calming down towards the season. I like to kind of look at profiles and actually get into the nitty gritty sometimes to see what people are really saying and what the media's saying and what the real core boxing fans are saying, like a real scroll from Twitter and whatnot. And it's been a bit of smoke, man. At least a little bit of smoke, man.
Yeah, no, I mean that's to be fair. It's been quiet, so there's been one or two bits and pieces to catch on to. Nothing, if we're being honest, nothing of true, like tangible, like groundbreaking news or anything like that. It's just been like the odd. Okay, cool. That's a bit of tension over there. And I think probably some questions, and we'll get into that with the whole Usyk Joshua and any form of announcement. But yeah, I did want to say, bro, we saw Chris Colbert can't return this weekend. Let's just quickly touch on that. What do you think of his performance?
I didn't actually get to watch it, funny enough, but from what I've heard and what I've seen in the comments again, I thought it was a good performance from the way everyone said. No one really, there wasn't anything kind of mad that I saw that was like crazy or outlandish. He did what he needed to do, so I'm looking forward to kind of seeing him in action, to be fair.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think he's definitely an interesting addition to that division. You talk about the likes of Shakur Stevenson. I don't think he's anywhere near a fight with Tank Davis.
No way.
Even though as mad as it sounds, bro, yeah, that fight would be mad entertaining, bro. Because Colbert, when it comes to talking trash, like he's up for it. But like, yeah, I'm not. I know that that's not happening. But I think the back and forth would be very interesting. There'll be an element maybe of a Mayweather versus Zab Judah. But no, to focus on Chris Colbert, I think he's an interesting fighter. I've got to say though, and I need to find out. Maybe we've got to get that interview and find out. But I need to understand what's going on with the hair, because like they're saying you dye your the color of your hair, but like this guy's going a bit wild, bro. I don't know what's your thoughts on that. And you think making him an attraction, because after the fight he kind of spoke about he should fight in Brooklyn on the stat card, and he says his people, this skin color doesn't get main attraction. But like, do you think this hairstyle? I don't know. What do you think? People don't really draw to him as well as maybe he thinks they should.
Yeah, I mean that always happens, and understandably it happens because boxing's a game of either talent or ticket selling. You've either got to be a good salesman or a good or a good ticket seller. So it's difficult from that perspective. But in terms of saying stuff about his race and whatnot, I hear it, but you need to be making more noise. I need to be hearing you call out all these guys. No one really gives a shit about your hair color. It's all about who you're calling out. If you're calling out the likes of Shakur Stevenson, and then, I mean, the guy's a New Yorker, talks a good game, on the rise, man. 15 fights, I think 15, 16 fights in total. So, he's just at that stage where he's done the kind of apprenticeship scheme or whatever, where he's fought a lot of different people. It's now time for him to try and see if he can get a big fight. A bit further away from Tank Davis, but there's still other guys out there to fight with.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. And again, like I said, I don't think that would happen because it would just be more entertaining from a press conference. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think he's probably got to put in more better. Not when I say better performances, I think he's definitely got to start reining in with the knockouts. But like you said, be a bit aggressive with his call out because he is quite vocal. I think what I like about him from what I've seen in the interviews is that he is a student of the game, and I always respect fighters that can talk about boxing. And they talk about technical elements, and obviously he's a young fighter, so he speaks the fundamental and technical language, which is good for me personally. I like to see that. It shows that he's putting in the work, not just in the ring, outside for his craft. But I think it's going to be a tough one for him. It's going to be not just a tough sell as a pay-per-view fighter, but I think he's going to have to do something that is a bit of a wow moment. I don't think he's on the same trajectory anywhere near Teofimo Lopez, but I think with Teofimo, once the Lomachenko win, clearly, like we saw that just cemented not just his legacy, but his value. Do you see what I mean? Like he'd been arguing for that value. He'd been arguing and trying to get higher purse from the Lomachenko fight. But I think his performance on the night definitely showed that. And then we saw that with Triller. Although we don't know what's going on with that, I think the COVID thing could come to light. But yeah, he showed his value there. So yeah, that's an interesting one. So this weekend, bro, we've got Anthony Yarde. Tell me what you think about Anthony Yarde's return to the boxing ring this week.
AY Lions in the camp. You know that camp very well. Big up him. Good to see him kind of getting back into the swing of things and just kind of brushing off everything that's happened last year and really knuckling down this year. I feel this weekend is going to be interesting. I don't think we're going to take and be able to read too much into it. I think it's just for him to just build himself up. I've been hearing he's talking about getting the Lyndon Arthur rematch, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get that. But I really feel now with James Cook in his corner, it'll be interesting to see where he goes from there. And what I really, personally, for me, I feel this is in time for Yarde to revitalize his career. I feel like he's got an opportunity to rebuild and really say, okay, do you know what? I'm going to go for the British. Let me try to get the British. After the British, let me try to get the European. I know he's won some. I don't know if he's won the Commonwealth. I think it was the WBO International. I'm not sure if he won the Commonwealth or not, but going for the Commonwealth and then building up from there. I think, or even not the British, if not the British, just go for the Commonwealth and try and challenge at that level because he's shown he's at British European level now since the loss to Arthur and definitely not at world level after the defeat with Kovalev. So I want to see him rebuild. It'll be nice to see him a couple of times, 2-3 times out maybe twice this year. And then just build on from there because Yarde is a likable character. Yarde's never really got stick except his coach, except the PE's team. And I think he's just got a good opportunity with James Cook in his corner. Whether James Cook can be world level and take him to the heights of world level, I don't know. I just need to see him a few times. But
yeah. I mean, he's got a great story. For those that do not know about James Cook, he was a former European and British super middleweight, I believe. And yeah, like he's I think he's even wrote a book as well. So yeah, definitely go and look out for him. I think we all spoke about Yarde and saying he needed to add something to the camp. I think he's done that. And I think it's some good experience as well. And it's you know what, sometimes it's not even just maybe the boxing experience in this scenario. I think also the vocal experience, somebody that's not afraid to speak up because Tunde, I rate Tunde, but he's a big character as well. So yeah, for Yarde, I think having someone like Cook might be like that balance that's needed. So even if he disagrees with Tunde, like, which I'm sure would happen, maybe he didn't feel vocal enough, but maybe with James Cook, if James Cook and Yarde are agreeing about certain things, then yeah, that might help him speak up. But yeah, I think from Cook's perspective, it's good to see him getting some recognition. Look, Anthony Yarde is still a talent. Obviously he lost to Lyndon Arthur, but he is still a talent. He can still go on to do big things in boxing. He's got that marketability. So let's be fair. Like, he doesn't even have to reach the heights in terms of becoming a world champion. His name, he can always make sure that his name is in and around the sport of boxing. So yeah, I think for Cook, this is a good opportunity. I hope it works out, to be fair. I'm not sure that it would allow him to win in the rematch if they should get that. But yeah, I think it's a good shot. It's a good look. And then Lyndon,
rematch is dangerous. Rematch is dangerous.
Yeah, actually, we've got to big up the boxing bands, ladies in the building. Big yourself up. Love every time. Boxing Back saying should be an easy fight for Yarde. Emin Atra has fought a lot of fighters with a huge amount of losses. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I think if for Yarde, how many since the loss actually has he fought? How many times has he fought? Is this his? He only fought once? Or?
No, it's his first. I don't know, unless he's done one of those fights in Spain or whatever. Like
Spain, yeah, but I feel like that was after the loss anyway, or was that out? No,
yeah,
that
was after Kovalev. That was after Kovalev he fought in Spain.
Yeah,
and then that was after Kovalev he fought in Spain, but I don't think he's fought since. But let me double check because he has them sneaky bouts sometimes. It's in his locker.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure. But I mean, look, yeah, if that is the case, no, not for. So I mean, it is. So for Arthur, this is his first return since. I'm just checking box rec. So for Lyndon Arthur, this is his first fight, and we're going to talk on that. But yeah, and same for Yarde.
Yeah, man. You know what's so interesting about it? I remember when they both fought, was it Spellman?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they both fought Spellman, because obviously Yarde knocked him out.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying, look, Lyndon, I said, but people fight, every fight is unique and every fight is different. What you do to one guy, don't mean you could do it to another.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'll be honest, for me, yeah, like that whole knockout, I've never subscribed to it because for me, obviously, I'm looking at the boxing ability, and that was the fight that kind of confirmed to me that Arthur would beat Yarde because I felt like
after that,
yeah, he was just so strong with the jab. I was just like, yeah, you know what, that's going to be a bit of a problem for Yarde, and I didn't, and I wasn't surprised. But yeah, moving on to Lyndon Arthur, he's taking on Fauci again. I think it's a return back for him. I'm sure Arthur, obviously, he injured his hand, so he would have had some surgery. But for Fauci, looks like he seems an undefeated fighter. Was hailing from Italy, so not really too sure. Don't know much about him, pro or amateur career. So I'm pretty certain he could be good, but amateur career isn't ringing bells. So. Yeah, let's see. I think like you said, with both of them, I think it's an opportunity to get back in the game. They are fighting at the Royal Albert Hall, so that's a great occasion as well. And look, I think this has to lead. I think we need the rematch, bro. I gotta be real. Like, I think we need the rematch. I think for both.
That's risky. But yeah, I'll see it. Don't get me wrong, I'll watch it. But I don't know. Arthur's gonna have his right hand back as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're Anthony Yarde, do you really take that plunge straight away? Don't think so. Even he went back on what he said, yeah. Even James Cook, even the IFL said, you messed up. That was on you. You messed up that against Arthur. I just don't think it's worth. I don't think it's worth Yarde's, because if he loses again, you kind of got to wonder, like. Whereas if he wins the European and goes from there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. So moving on. Like I said, like we said, guys, it was a pretty quiet weekend in boxing, and to be fair, with the Euros on, I'm sure we're all half excited to watch that as well. So I know you was at Wembley, bro. I know you're going Wembley tomorrow.
Bro, do you know what? I might even be doing the drinking since the morning. If England really do it,
let me see you on GMTV, bro.
Huh?
I don't want to see you on GMTV like.
Nah, never.
7 a.m. yet, like.
No hooliganism, but no, it's a big occasion for sport. It's a big occasion for this country. So hopefully we can cheer England on. One thing I was going to mention actually.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah,
bro. I was going to talk about, mate. Canelo, the guy just wants it all, man. This guy wants all his legacy, man. I saw the DAZN interview with Eddie Hearn and that, saying about how he wants Beterbiev.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So I pronounced it funny because I heard one of his natives saying that, but mate, what? He is crazy.
I mean, I think that's what people want to see, bro. If we're being honest, I'm not dissing Canelo. Look, we'll even talk about Andre, like he's my pound for pound, but I think I've got to see that before I believe it, bro. I'll be real. Like I've got to see that them men are really like on the press conference or like them announcements on their posts, because I just think that is a fight that is like really cements Canelo legacy. For me, those kind of wins, yeah, take him to like next level. Like real, if I'm being real, like I think
I
he
want to
kind
see
of,
Caleb Plant, man. I want to see Caleb Plant.
yeah, I do want to see Caleb Plant as well. But I'll be real again. Like, if somebody said to me, "You're gonna him Caleb Plant, Canelo versus Plant, or Canelo versus Beterbiev," bro, I'm picking Beterbiev, bro, because I see that as the tougher challenge for Canelo. So I do want to see him in that tougher challenge. I think Plant is going to be a tough challenge for him, but like, yeah, it's not. It's can he sustain the attack as well as the intelligent defense? I don't know. Like, whereas Beterbiev, he just needs to sustain the attack, which we've seen we kind of do. So yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like power levels out. Like Canelo hits like he's a 175-pound fighter.
Mm.
So yeah, but I think I've got to see that to believe it. But yeah, I think that's good. It's good to hear. That's what he's talking about. But I think yeah, I think I don't see him taking that fight. But I think Plant happens. I think that's probably a play to get Plant to kind of sign a contract and agree to the terms Canelo's putting on the table. You know, if you got to look at it as a negotiation, like I can imagine that Plant's kind of stubborn and difficult. Well, not difficult, but like he's going to hold his peace as long as he can. And I think, yeah, if they put it out there, they're looking at other options. What does Plant do? You know, he knows he wants that fight. I don't care. Canelo's the cash cow now, bro. Like, you know, you want that fight. So, yeah,
100.
yeah.
No, that's an interesting one. Yeah, for sure.
But I was gonna ask though, bro. I mean, I see Charles Martin is back in the picture. The guy that basically that gave Joshua the belts, or the belt, sorry, the IBF, talking
Yeah,
about Dillian White. But I will say, I'll be honest, I didn't see the whole tirade or the whole like rant he went on. I don't know where it's coming from. But I like that fight, you know, bro.
Dylan should win that, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man.
Exactly. I think Dillian White beats him, and I think that what that does for Dillian White in the States, bro, yeah, like goes up a level again. Like, especially talking business, like it goes up a level. So I actually like that fight. I think they should try and make that fight. I swear, bro. Like,
I wanted him and Dominic Brazil, to be fair.
yeah, but you see with Brazil, I think the Wilder getting flattened by Wilder, yeah.
Finished him, bro. That was mad. I remember you put before a blink of an eye. My guy was out. I was like,
yeah. So I don't know. I'm not convinced that like that's where. No, I'm not saying he can't make a bounce back. Of course he can, but I don't think people will be like, yeah, okay, boom, like he's fighting. We've got to do that now. I think you're really talking about. Yeah, I think you're really talking about Dillian White, Charles Martin, Dillian White, whichever way. I think that's a huge fight, bro. I think that would be a big. If the zone is serious, yeah, I think they would do that. Because, bro, what that would do on both sides, you can imagine again the presser. Like that's the way boxing is going out here. Like the presser, people want to see more entertainment in press conferences now, bro. Like so, every fight is going to give it to you. But like, if you can give matchups where it's going to be interesting, but then you get something in the presser. Bro, why not? Trust me. Look, I think boxing match is in the build up. Brazil will be dry and build up. Martin fight more juicy. Yeah, exactly, man. It's like exactly. I think there'll be something he'll talk, and Dillian White will give it to him as well. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think that'll be good, bro. So yeah, let's see what happens. What else is on your thoughts, bro? What's your thoughts on Riddick Bowe talking about he wants to make a return? I couldn't tell if that was a banter or what.
I'm tired of hearing this. The old guys should stay retired, man. They should stay historians. Like the only time they should be mentioned is in these. What happens if Canelo fought this person? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to hear all these guys to fight. I mean, if it's for the bag, it's for the bag. But I don't want to hear about any of these fights anymore, man. Like I'm tired. Absolutely tired of these kind of fights. But yeah, bro. Like I saw that. That was one thing I saw on Twitter. What else did I see on Twitter? Oh yeah, I saw a lot of the interviews. IFL went to the Matchroom stable to chat to all the guys like Tony Sims, Ted Cheeseman, and whatnot. And Yeah, do you know what? It was nice. It was interesting speaking to Ted. To be fair, he's a typical Bermondsey boy. It's
Mm,
good to chat to. Good to just kind of get his perspective because I think he's kind of since that loss he had before, he's kind of against Garcia, he kind of went down a little bit and it's coming back up again. So it was interesting seeing him against Eggington and whatnot. So he's back in action in fight camp. Joey Cordina, he's about to have a baby soon. They're supposed to come out for a fight camp, but he didn't. And that was good to hear that he's still kind of getting in good shape. And then obviously the man who steals the show, which is Mr. Conor Benn, Mr. CBTV, Mr. Everlast, Mr. You know, the guy right
mm,
now. He's kicking up a lot of fuss, man. I,
mm.
I don't understand why he gets a lot of hate because he's just a guy who's just there. He's supposed to fight whoever's in front of him. But at the same time, when I see some of his interviews, not that you shouldn't be cocksure, but it's the way he comes across. You'd think he's like Josh Taylor, bro.
Okay.
Like in terms of how he talks, like he's been there, done it, been at the top. He's and I think what people don't like is that the fact he's not owning that he lived a good life. He's
Mm,
talking like a lot of people feel like he's talking to sell a story like he's come from the ghetto, the slums, and I'm like, what? From you talking about your dad being a millionaire in Australia and you being bad and being sent to Manchester. Do you
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
I didn't look. I didn't know that per se. So that's an interesting take that people feel that he. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Like he kind of ignores the fact that he's had a ladder in that sense. He's always had
yeah, no, he does. I
a.
like Connor. Connor's
Mm,
exciting, man. I really, really like him. I think he's good for the sport. He's a young, fresh, like around that age range. I don't really know who's really there in the UK. So he's got that
mm,
solid market there, those millennials and Gen Z. But
mm,
I just think, yeah, he just needs to. I just want to see him get his performance. I think he's trying to build up hype for a Khan fight.
mm.
Don't know if Khan will give that to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just kind of see from there, man.
Yeah. I mean, what I find interesting, I'll be honest with Ben. At first, I wasn't really a fan. If you ask me why, I just felt I didn't really get his style. To be fair, and I just felt which you do the managed opponents. I was just like, okay, whatever. The Formella fight, I have to be honest as well. I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm gonna maybe give this guy less stick and maybe like not be too critical. And I think with him, all I can say is like again, it's being managed well. There's obviously a clear plan, and he can't do anything but like perform on the night. Like in the
Exactly.
thing, you sometimes you can mess up if you're not focused, and yeah, he's performing. So at this moment, I'm just like Conor Ben. He's just there. I think with him as well, and I mean it with all respect to him. I think, and you know, in what division he's in, he's like he's not competing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the competition isn't there. I mean, even if, like, you know, Josh Taylor, do you think is that a fight? Will people want to see that fight, Conor Ben versus Josh Taylor?
No, not really.
Do you know
But
what I
you know
mean?
what I really want to see for Conor though? I would love to see him do what Boatsy did. Go out to the States, man. I don't think he will because he's an Essex guy, but I would love to see him go out to the States and get some good sparring, training, like
Do you
good
know?
training.
I'll be honest. I think I wouldn't even say you say Essex. I wouldn't even say that because obviously he's lived in Australia. I think it's now that he's got a family, like he's got his missus and he's got a kid. I think that's probably going to be, and they're still quite young, so that might be more of a hindrance if I'm being honest than doing that because to be away from him, I'm not saying he couldn't do it. Of course, I'm not saying that, but that might be something that is harder. So yeah, I think the Essex thing, but I think 100%. I think yeah, his family. He will be on that tip. Like, okay, yeah, is he going to do like an 8-week camp in LA? And I think his kid's not even one yet. Like, I don't know. Yeah, he seems like one of those guys. Like, you know, he seems one of those guys. So, yeah, like most of us, he wants to be close to his family. But yeah, bro. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I didn't check that out. I didn't see that. But I did want to go to Fury Wilder. Malik King Scott has come out and said Fury will not make it out past the 5th round. You see?
See, I can't believe they shouldn't say things like that because it makes my prediction look so stupid. But at the same time, if he does win, I'm a visionary.
I didn't even want to take away like the visionary thing. I think I'll even say you're probably more courageous than me because I can't see it for Wilder. But even though I want him to do it, for me, I just think going back to your point, bro. It's like, yeah, how are you saying 5 rounds? Like that. Just in a deeper way, it kind of like it just makes you think. I get it. Maybe it's the game, but you just think, yeah, okay, really, like that's a lot of pressure. Like there's already pressure with the whole, accusations, which I think he's not said anything in mainstream media. So if he can do that up until leading to the fight, then well done for doing that. But like that's another set of pressure, knowing that every time you're at pressure, like you're going to be silent, and then now you're kind of predicting a 5th round knockout, like. And I'll say this about Wilder. I know people might say apart from with the Brazil fight, like I think when he comes up against, like, you look at the Ortiz, like I think not necessarily a slow start, but he doesn't fire like immediately. Do you know what I mean? Who else? The Stavern fight, obviously that the initial one doesn't fire. So for me, yeah, to say Wilder is gonna get him in 5, boy. Yeah, it's a mad thing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
If we see that though, I think the boxing game's gonna, people are gonna lose their heads, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
People are gonna really lose their heads. So, but yeah, no. So other than that, bro, they're talking about maybe Mikey Garcia taking on Regis Prograis. What's your thoughts on that?
Good matchup, very, very good matchup. Not one. I don't think it's one that puts bums on seats, but it's one hardcore we want to see. And I know my uncle will be very interested in looking at that. But yeah, no, it's good fight. Got no complaints about that. If I was to predict, I'd say Garcia should have a tidy win on point.
No, for real. No, for real, bro. So listen, bro, we're gonna call it a night. I think get ready and watch the football. The good chopping up, like I said, is a quiet weekend, but we are not far though. I think we can start doing countdown. Fury Wilder 3, July 24th. Yeah, we're definitely doing a live watch along for that. So guys, make sure you're tuned in for that. If you're watching in the past, present, or future, we don't care. Subscribe, turn on that notification. We need that support. We're on that road to more followers, more viewers. But everybody take care of themselves. Appreciate the love. Sam, do you want to shout out your Insta before we go?
Yes, SDWOTV, and yeah, it's all boxing, man.
Yes, bro. Take care, bro. In a bit.
Cheers.
Let's
get